Be the Change Challenge Day 3 technique. This is Day 3 of my video response to a challenge in Shannon Green's JB5's Facebook group. This is the day that you start developing the page, perhaps telling the story behind the page and the element that caught your attention in the text chosen for the page. On day 1, what we did was we chose a text page and we put it down on a journal page. That's all we did. In my case, I just glued it to the center of my page in a very geometric, simple fashion. On day 2 was the analysis stage, or for the right brain people, why did I choose that page? And I highlighted different elements on the page that were of interest to me. And then I highlighted how I put that text down on my journal page. In my instance, it was just a simple rectangle. Some of you may have torn pieces that are highlighted. Some of you may have just a circle. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see if people take me up on this challenge, what they come up with. So day 3, what I want you to do is choose one of these elements that you highlighted. Not necessarily the shape. You could choose the shape. If you do, it will be interesting to see what you do with it. But choose one of these elements that interest you on the page and develop it by taking another element and putting down on the page. It might be a magazine collage is what I'm going to use. You may choose to draw something. You may find something in your stash. I don't know what you'll come up with. What I came up with, what I chose was her name was Apolline. I've told of her brilliant beauty and of her more brilliant mind. So I wanted to see in my mind, how could I illustrate Apolline? Now, I typically think, well, a milkmaid is not in our day, unless you're a farmer. I could have gone to maybe some farm magazines and found a farm kid and put down there, but I didn't do that. I went to one of the contemporary magazines. I'm not even sure which one I pulled this out of, but this little girl, the picture of this little girl attracted me. She looks like she has a brilliant mind. Obviously, this is a holiday shopping page because it's got some greenery and Christmas in here. But it also has this word, off to market. And I could see this little girl being, in her day, a milkmaid. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to cut her out. Now, I do like that. I'm debating because I don't want to cover up too much of the text, but I do like it. Now, here's where I'm getting to think, because I was thinking that I could cut some of this out if I just kind of tack her down and kind of cut some of this text out here, but I don't want to cut through the off to marketplace. So this is where, you know, if you're a very non-analytical person, you may just put it down on the page and be happy with it. I'm a little bit more analytical about it. I'm thinking about where I want this to go on the page and how. Do I really want this on here, or do I want the text? That doesn't do it for me. This does, even though it shows it covers up some of the text. Now, I've already glued that text down, but I'm going to do something here, and this is something you might think of doing. This could be a day 4 technique, but I'm not going to make it a day 4 technique. I'm going to do it on day 3. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut my page. I'm going to cut a slit on this page so this part of my text will fall off into here. And I'm going to do that on several places. And in order to do that, I'm just going to take this is my food ball pen, but I'm just going to kind of do some marking here. In fact, I think I'll just draw the shape of her with my food ball pen so that I know where I want this to go on my page. And that's okay, you can do that. This is just an art journal page. No biggie. We're just basically having fun with this page. But this is my little milkmaid. I'm going to let that dress fall down a little bit more off of the page. And I love it that it's saying off to market. So when I slit the page, I want to slit it here and maybe down here. Here and here. And I think I like this part right in here. So I'm going to slit it in here. That may not make much sense to you, but this is a technique you might try if you're so inclined. You don't have to. I'm just going to do a freehand slit. I'm just going to cut it with my knife. I want that text to show up instead of the greenery on hers. And I'm just cutting a shape out of my page. Just like that. Yes? And I think I'd seen, if you watch Packer Dye, she does a lot of this technique when she's doing her collaging. I won't say that I exactly got that from her, but that's the person that I thought of when I'm doing this. So maybe subconsciously Packer Dye is rubbing off on me here. She does beautiful collage pages. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to put her like this. Now, I don't like that. I want it down a little bit further. I want that off to market to show. So I'm going to bring it down, even though I've got these lines there. That's okay. That'll be worked in. So, and then my second part is right in here. I wanted this to show, and I wanted this to show. I want this to come down a little bit more, but my slit is not allowing me to do that. So I'm going to slit this some more. Yes. Because I want my off to market to show. And this is falling off of the page a little. But that's all right. We'll trim that up. And then I have my lines up here. No biggie. So I'm just going to put my page down like this. Now, your page, I guarantee you, if anybody does this, or if anybody's working along with me, they're going to be completely different. But I'd like to see somebody try this. And I'd like to see how you pick something here. I picked, her name was Pauline. Oh, look, and you know what? This phrase in here got hidden, telling about a brilliant mind. Can I bring that out? No. I liked her brilliant mind, though, so I might try. And this is not a very JB5 in the sense that you're slapping things down on the page. This is applying a technique to your page. But I like this brilliant mind phrase. So I'm just going to bring that out. I might have to tuck this part back in again, but we'll see. Okay. Maybe I'll put that back up again. Now see what I did here? Even though I like this part, Lucy could lose anything, so the distinctly inherent part of a dress as a pocket. Even though I like that phrase, I think it needs to go underneath and this needs to go back up because we got Lucy Lockett losing her pocket up here. So I'm going to let this fall back underneath and instead let this fall up, and instead of putting this down, I'm going to put it back up where I originally intended it. If that makes any sense to you. Because I want the words "off to market" to show. I might put it up a little bit more, like this. But I also wanted her name to show appalling, and her brilliant beauty and her more brilliant mind. That phrase is important to me. And then this tells everything that's in her pocket down here, and this talks about. So I'm going to attach appalling, my little milkmaid, to the page today. Try to use a technique like this where you make a slit in the page. But today's technique really is drawing out with another element something that attracted you on that page. In my case, I'm using a magazine collage. You could use other text page. You could paint a square around it. Somehow draw what drew your attention out of the page. Make it the focal point. In my case, my little milkmaid is my focal point. And I just love that this says "off to market" here. Okay, I'm going to pull this out. Now I need to glue it down. I've been using a wet glue, but I think that I'm going to get a glue stick and use a glue stick to do this, simply because it's dry. It's a drier technique. It's easier to do. It's not as messy, let's put it that way. And I'm just going to put a lot of glue here. Now, while I'm doing this, I will say I'm chattering through this, but in a sense what I'm doing is I'm illustrating this little story. You don't have to illustrate a story. You may go off on an entire different path. You may go down a different path. And if you do, good, fine. I'm happy for you. I would love to see a lot of different paths on this page. If anybody tries this, if anybody's working along with me. If you're not, just watch. Now I want these two to come up and that one to go down. And then my magazine page is kind of curling on me. And I want her to go up just a little higher than I intended. Just like that. Yes. Yeah, I use my brayer on this. Now I want to glue these down. Now, I may need to go and put a more stable glue on this, but I think as I'm working with the page, I'll be stabilizing it in other ways. I like that. I have my little appalling milkmaid on my page. Let's use the brayer to glue this down. Now, since am I good here? No. Let's glue this down since this was the one that I originally, we don't need that on the back there, okay? Let's glue the back, this piece down here on the back. That was a blooper you just saw. I didn't pull the lid off of my glue stick. Isn't that funny? Like you know what you're doing, Mary. Okay. Hey, I'm liking this so far. Got a little shadow coming out here. That's okay. Let's develop her while we're doing that, since we got her down here. Gotta give her kind of a little dirty face there. Think milkmaids have dirty faces? I imagine at the end of the day they might. I'm going to just draw around her to bring her out a little bit more with my blue Stabilo pen. You may want to do this, you may not. And my little milkmaid there. And let's add some water. This is a Stabilo, a big fat Stabilo pencil. And I'm just softening the background here. And let's bring it down here. Now we could bring that Stabilo into here, just to make it, give it a little bit more shape of her coming down over this text. Yes, we'll do that. So we have this side of the page all in one, kind of a blue area, and this side kind of in a white. There's kind of a dividing line down in here. It will be interesting to see if anybody follows along with me on this. This is day 3. And day 3 is done. I'm going to dry it and think about what I want to do on day 4.